Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Live Trading Room's daily Forex analysis. Today is Wednesday, February the 21st, and it's 10:30 in the morning. Let's see how the Forex market is performing through the index grid of our best and worst dashboard. The New Zealand dollar is in first position, gaining 1.56% on its currency basket, followed by the US dollar, ahead by 1.29%. Then we have the Canadian dollar, ahead by 0.49%, and then we have the euro, gaining 0.40%. The Swiss franc is just below parity, losing 0.15%. The yen is down by 0.37%. The British pound is losing 1.45%, and the Australian dollar comes last, down by 1.73%. The power strength gives us the Australian dollar 100% short and the New Zealand dollar 100% long. We have significant percentages on the US dollar and the British pound also, respectively 85% long and 85% short. The best trades so far in the Forex market are British pound, New Zealand dollar down by 0.39% and the cable losing 0.39%. Now let's move to the charts to analyze the majors. Aussie US dollar is moving in a bearish tendency, gave a bearish signal at the breakout of the previous daily low, and it's moving just above target number 3 of the bearish zone of the target geometry at 0.7851. We have a bearish price action and a percentage confluence up to the monthly level. The pair is losing 0.36% on a daily basis. The RSI is below 50 up to the daily time frame. We have a confluent Australian dollar against an 85% long US dollar, so we may have a continuation of the current move. The euro dollar is moving in a slight bearish tendency just above the previous daily low, and on the monthly moving average we're just at the entry level of the bearish zone of the target geometry at 123.23. The pair is still losing 0.11% on a daily basis, and we have a bearish percentage confluence up to the monthly level. The RSI is below 50 from M15 to H4. We have a 57% long euro against an 85% long US dollar, so should the market remain below the entry level of the bearish zone of the target geometry, we may have a moderate continuation to the downside. The cable is moving in a bearish tendency, just at the level of the previous daily low. We're just above target number 4 of the bearish zone of the target geometry at 139.37, with a confluent price action and a breakout of the previous lows from M30 to H4. The pair is losing 0.37% on a daily basis, and we have a bearish percentage confluence up to the monthly level. The RSI is below 50 from M1 to H4. We have an 85% short British pound against an 85% long US dollar, so we may have a continuation to the downside. Kiwi US dollar is moving in a slight bullish tendency after a false breakout of the previous daily low. The market is just below the entry level of the bullish zone of the target geometry at 0.7351. We have a confluent price action up to the daily time frame and a breakout of the previous highs from M1 to H1. The pair is gaining 0.06% on a daily basis. We have an RSI above 50 on every time frame except H4. We have a confluent New Zealand dollar against an 85% long US dollar. Should the market close above the monthly opening at 0.7356, we may have a continuation to the upside, but considering the fact that both currencies are very strong on their respective currency baskets, we may have a limited daily range. Should the bearish tendency continue, our target could be the weekly opening at 0.7371. US dollar Canada is moving in a slight bullish tendency, just above the previous daily high. We have a breakout of the previous highs on the weekly and the monthly time frames also. A bullish percentage confluence up to the yearly level, and the market is moving above all the higher moving averages of the EMA dashboard. We're just below the entry level of the bullish zone of the target geometry at 126.59. The RSI is above 50 from M30 to the weekly. We have a 57% long Canadian dollar against an 85% long US dollar, so should the market go back above the entry level of the target geometry, we may have a slight continuation to the upside. US dollar Swiss franc is moving in a slight bullish tendency, correcting down from the intraday high marked at 0.9383. In fact, we have a bearish price action at a scalping and intraday level with a breakout of the previous lows from M5 to M30. The pair is still gaining 0.08% on a daily basis, and we have a bullish percentage confluence up to the monthly level. The Swiss franc is 57% short against an 85% long US dollar, so should the market go back inside the bullish zone of the target geometry about 0.9370, we may have a continuation to the upside. Alert below the daily opening. The entry level for short position on a daily basis is 0.9345. Now let's close the analysis with US dollar yen, which is moving in a bullish tendency just above the previous daily high. We have a confluent price action from the scalping to the multi-day level with the exception of the monthly time frame. The market registered an intraday high at 107.90 and then corrected down toward the entry level of the bullish zone of the target geometry at 107.44. Now the bullish tendency seems to be resuming. Should the market remain above the entry level of the target geometry, we may have a continuation of the initial bullish move. That's all for today's analysis. Thank you for your attention. Good day and good trading from Live Trading Room Trading Community.